All right. Well, happy Thursday afternoon and welcome to Personalization That Scales, introducing Capture's new AI duo. Today, we're going to talk to you a little bit about Capture Enrollment Scout and Capture Counselor Copilot, our newest products added to the Capture Enrollment Marketing platform. Just for clarity's sake, the new Capture's AI duo is not myself and Tiffany. However, let's go ahead and roll into introductions, Tiffany, since we're here.
Let's do it.
Awesome. Good afternoon, all. My name is Heather Mueller. I'm the Chief Customer Officer here at Capture Higher Ed and one of the co-founders of the company. It is my great pleasure to introduce all of you to Tiffany. Tiffany is one of the new members of our product team and an all-star superstar. So, Tiffany, give the people a little intro about yourself.
Hey everyone, I am Tiffany. I am, as Heather mentioned, the new Director of Product Management here at Capture. Been in higher ed and ed tech for about 12 years now, and really excited about all the things both recently released and coming soon at Capture to help meet all of y'all's needs.
Fantastic. So let's get started with our agenda, shall we? Over the next 30 minutes, this is going to go by fast, gang. Tiffany, I promise I will not eat up a whole bunch of time in the beginning. We're going to talk a little bit about the landscape of personalization and AI in higher education. And then Tiffany's going to walk us through so you can get a first look for some of you at our two new products, Scout and Copilot. We'll close out today with any questions that you may have and curiosities that you have about the products. But until then, let's roll in, shall we, Tiffany?
Let's go.
You all are here, obviously, because you understand the importance of personalization in the work that we do every day, right? Here are a few stats. Companies all over the country are doing research on how students engage with marketing content, what their expectations are, how do they want to receive information. So here are a few that we've pulled out from the world. You can see across the board, the expectation from our prospective students is that we are with them and that we know them. 67% of high school seniors expect personalization and communication. 72% expect content that specifically relates to their individualized interest. 56 are interested in web content that they can personalize for themselves. So really putting control on their web experience, their browsing experience. 63% of students that have been surveyed report that a school, exploring a school, excuse me, further after receiving a customized message. So there's the ping, right? They know me. I actually want to take a look at what they have to offer. 36% have indicated that they will lose interest if the communications that they're receiving from colleges or universities aren't connected to who they are and what they're interested in. And last but certainly not least, right, 91% of our prospective high school students are saying that they are happy to provide that information in order to have that customized experience. So we know this. We have known this for a long time. Our company has specialized in making sure that every interaction counts, that we are connecting at a personal level with prospective students on behalf of our partners and ensuring that they have great tools to be able to do that. So, Tiffany, if we can move forward one slide, that would be great. I want to talk a little bit, and I promise after this, I'm going to hand it over to Tiffany so that you can hear the good stuff. But as we have been in this industry, right, for 13, 14 plus years, bringing great technology that connects admissions and marketing professionals with prospective students, creating individualized marketing experiences through our platform, right? At the center, it's the brain. It's receiving all of the different information that's out there in the universe about your prospective students, how they're engaging with content. What are they interested in? What do you know about them already from your CRM? What questions are on their mind? The platform's collecting all of this information as it's listening to your prospective students. And in turn, it processes all of that information and turns it into a hyper personalized experience through all of the different marketing channels that you can be in. That progressive profiling that we're doing with prospective students that are on your website today, engaging with your marketing today, and turning that into actionable intelligence that allows for, again, being in every channel where those students are with the messages that they're looking for, that's tailored to them. And today, we've built new products to be able to enhance that even more through Scout and Copilot. These are just tools that are a part of the platform to enhance this experience of collaborative AI, right? So it's not just the machine, it's the technology that's wrapped in our humans, our experts, and your team. So with that, Tiffany, I'm gonna stop teasing the big picture and let's go dive in to our new products.
Let's do it. All right, we are going to start with the Capture Enrollment Scout as our first of two new products. This is our AI-powered always-on website engagement engine. So the idea is that you have prospective students that are on your site looking for information 24/7. So the tool, Capture Enrollment Scout, is there to help guide those prospective students, and more importantly, start building progressive profiles for those students so that you can identify who they are, what are they interested in, and try and accelerate their conversion across the funnel. So we'll take a look through the next couple slides on what that actually looks like. So as I'm sure you and your counselors are aware of, you're constantly getting bombarded with different questions that need responses that your prospective students are trying to find on the website, but want kind of that little extra level of detail or support on. So the Enrollment Scout is there again on your site 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and in 50+ languages to help answer some of those easy, simple questions to save time for your counselors to focus on the more impactful conversations and activities that they have. And that also allows progressive profiles to be built as prospective students are having these conversations with the Enrollment Scout. So even just a quick conversation asking about a computer science program, the Enrollment Scout is asking questions alongside providing those answers about who the student is, what other interests they have, their contact information, so that we can build a profile about who they are and really identify these users that are coming onto your website already and maybe previously would have just gone to the homepage or to the housing website and found information, but we wouldn't have been able to identify them. Capture Enrollment Scout is going to sit on top of the site and leverage the ability to chat with the prospective student to gain information about them while respectfully answering their questions. And it's a really unobtrusive opportunity to collect data.
Tiffany, what I really love about what the team has done in developing Enrollment Scout is that it's not just another chatbot, right? This is truly an engagement tool that's there, it's always on. It is gathering information that fully integrates into that prospective student profile within the platform that allows us to leverage all of that really deep information about interest, about the wants and the needs and the concerns and all the things that they're curious about, and turn that into relevant and personalized marketing. This, for me, is one of the more exciting things that we've done in a while. This, I think, really will supercharge the teams on our campuses and allow them to have a deeper understanding of their prospective students.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's how that profile then fits in with the other data we have at Capture that really makes it kind of a superpower for our partners. But also just want to call out that this is available for prospective students' parents as well, or guardians. They can answer questions and we can select or we can separate that data so you can get an idea for each prospective student, what they're interested in, but also maybe what are some of the concerns or questions coming from their parent or guardian as well. After enabling this on your site, we also offer our insights dashboard for Capture Enrollment Scout, which gives you overall impressions of the activity across the board for all of your prospects who are engaging, number of chats initiated, some of those trending data on profile completion and identification rate. So that tells you how it's going overall, but you can also drill into each individual student to see what the conversations are that are happening. If there's additional follow-up needed, maybe there's a human touch that we need to add on for supplying answers to more complicated questions or just some more personalized follow-up. For each conversation that's happening, here's one I had with our enrollment scout. It gives you a summary of the chat. So you can see that in the middle of the page, what I'm interested in, information on my term, and then I can click on that view full history and see the full transcript from the chat conversation as well. So if I need a little bit more context and what exactly the student was asking for, I can see that. You'll see to the right there also conversation with parents, separated out. Tags are associated just like across website page visits. Conversations are tagged at the end so that you can leverage these in your dynamic content as well. So if prospective students are asking about financial aid or scholarships, and then you want to use some of the dynamic content across Capture on your site to target those students, again, this is just building into that overall platform and the interconnectivity of Capture to offer more opportunities to engage with these prospects.
It's fantastic. In initial conversations that we are having with folks about this product, Tiffany, as we were developing it, the thing that I found interesting is that it looks like a chatbot, right? It talks like a chatbot, but is it a chatbot? And the answer is, I mean, it does do chat, right? It answers questions, it leverages AI, it mirrors and matches the tone of the institution. But the difference maker, I believe, is that this can be an always on, or it can be an enhancement to tools that you already have because it can be deployed based on behavior. And so our platform is able to understand when is the best time, when a student is exhibiting behavior that would indicate that it's ready, that person is ready, right, to engage with a Q&A session. And so this can be triggered within that environment as well. And again, like you said, that interconnectivity with all of the other data that we have and that progressive profile build that allows us to then leverage all this great information about the student for other channel work.
Yeah, that's a great call out. Similar to so many of our other tools, it's very customizable. Whether even it shows to students on campus or just off, or if there's specific pages, if you really want to focus it on admissions and enrollment questions, there's a ton of flexibility to allow full customization for each partner. Within the profile page, you also have a full activity timeline. So if you want to see how do these chat conversations with the enrollment scout fit in with the other activities that a student is doing, what else are they looking at, what else are they engaging in, that's all built into a unified prospect profile. So you can see, again, that content interaction, their website page visits right alongside the enrollment scout conversations to really maximize the value for you across Capture as a whole. Want to also just touch on that the chat itself, the enrollment scout, is completely configurable in terms of the logo, the mascot, personality, the tone that it's using. If you want it to be on the more casual side or the more professional side, all of that is customizable to meet your specific brand's, your brand identity, your voice, and can be separate for parents and students if you want a different approach between those. It's also multi-platform, so it is a user-friendly experience both on desktop as well as mobile and tablet. And it requires no additional code or activation. It's using the existing Capture tracking script, so no extra ask of your IT teams in order to get this going. We also are working on in terms of the lift to actually get it started, this is using your website content already. You don't need to build a big knowledge base of questions and answers in order for Enrollment Scout to start answering questions for your prospective students. It's already able to just pull content, documents, all of that to make sure that it's answering questions for students correctly, and most importantly, building those profiles for you and your team to then start delivering that personalized content.
It's fantastic. In both of these tools, and both Scout and Counselor Copilot that we're going to talk about in a moment, the mission, right, as we started developing these two new add-ons, if you will, to our platform, was to really amplify the work of the teams on our campuses for our partners, to be able to gather as much information so that you can be as personalized as possible. But even more, and what Tiffany's going to show you with Copilot, is to create efficiencies for your teams, right? AI, we've been in the game since it was cool to say you were in the game, right? But today, what we know is that this technology can and should be leveraged to empower, to supercharge, give superpowers to your team. So these are all augmentation tools rather than replacement. And I think that's really important that we built that with that in mind. And so with that, Tiffany, let's take a look at Copilot.
Let's do it. Yeah, so as Heather introduced, Copilot is our AI-powered communication assistant. It's essentially just an additional member on your team to help free up time for counselors to do the most impactful things. So what that looks like is that we at Capture are providing each counselor with a daily outreach list. That's an AI algorithm that is creating a capture outreach priority score for each of your prospects, and prioritizing the ones that are most likely to apply, the ones that most need engagement at that particular day. You can see information about that prospective list, who those students are, where they're located, can filter by enrollment year or status, can drill into the outreach priority score as well. And just to give you guys a little bit of the background, it's using the data that we have, and those kind of data points that we've talked about for years, right? Your CES or your recent engagement score, your affinity index, the apply models, and the enrollment life cycle, and also partner level settings as well. So if different times of the month, different times of the enrollment cycle for you are heavier on the inquiry or admit or deposit stage, all of that is customizable to build that list for you of here's for today who you should be reaching out to, that Capture feels like are the most impactful, most important people to chat with.
Absolutely. What I love about this, Tiffany,
Mhm.
is that our platform has always provided our partners with insight into priority, right? In really three different views. So who's most active right now? Who's looking at you, right? With the CAI, who's been looking at you and engaged with you over time, or the how into you score are they, right? And we've provided counselors with a daily visitor report, which shows recency.
Yep.
But with our new Capture Outreach priority list, it combines the best of all of those things, puts it into one no-brainer list to be able to start prospecting from.
That's exactly right. For many of you all familiar with that daily visitor list, this is kind of the next step of who's hasn't visited recently, and that is prime targets for re-engagement. The Capture Outreach list is highlighting those users as well. Then, okay, more than just an outreach list, what's next, right? We want to help you make the most of those connections and leverage all of that information, and personalization options that we have for a student. So when engaging from that outreach list, you have the option to send an email, and our AI Counselor Copilot will create an email for you based on what that student is interested in, what they've engaged with recently, and create an email that you can send as is. But we also put right next to it the prospect profile kind of summary, right? So there's an AI summary of what their recent activity has looked like, an activity timeline if you wanted to do a quick review. You can look like what that looks like in a little bit closer detail too. So that activity timeline, right? Have they had a conversation with the enrollment scout, and what are they asking about that you might want to follow up with in an email? What ad clicks or website visits have they had? Have there been recent campus visits or phone calls that you should reference? You can look through all of the user's information, adjust your email as desired, and then be able to send and move on to the next student on your outreach list. So the idea is that we want to take some of that lift off so that you can, again, focus your time on less of the grind day to day and more on the impactful things to really make a difference in your communication with prospective students. Unlike other AI, this is not taking any action without counselor input, right? So this is an opportunity for you to see the email. You can completely change or edit it. It's never going to send without that action from you. So not a complete automation or replacement of the valuable counselors that you all have. So instead of taking time to build outreach lists, research each prospect, and send the emails, our goal is really that we can give you that optimized dashboard, automate the timeline, put all of the most important information really right at your fingertips so that you can just focus on the outreach piece of it and the things that you and your teams are really excellent at.
At the risk of sounding like a cheesy poet or Dr. Susie, I really feel that Counselor Copilot was built to help our recruitment teams understand the who, right? What to do. And then ultimately not have to start from scratch with every communication, but rather a built up, generated content that's relevant to that student. And then with the notion of collaborative AI, having hands-on ability to alter, to choose when, right? To have control over the process in which you communicate with your students.
Exactly. We also want to give superpowers to our enrollment executives as well. So they're similar to the Enrollment Scout, how we have a dashboard. There's one for our Counselor Copilot as well that lets you see overall across all of your counselors who's engaging with prospects, what amount of emails are being sent as is, what are being tweaked, any engagements that are happening outside of Capture as well. You can see all of that data and trended month by month as well. You can see who's engaging the most. You can see the breakdown of prospect allocation by counselors, as well as keep an eye on any unassigned prospects that maybe that are, especially those that are high priority, have high COP scores that we maybe want to get assigned out, that we are reaching out to those key folks.
Absolutely.
All
I
right.
think
Yeah, go
one
ahead.
piece, Tiffany, right here, and within Counselor Copilot, right, built for our recruitment teams to be able to really help them become more efficient in some of the really important tasks that can feel mundane, right? Allowing the technology to help them draft those emails more quickly and with more relevant content, leaving more space for them to make those authentic connections with their prospective students and their families, just opens up a world of possibility. And more importantly, it opens up time. Right. Um, and as true with all parts of our platform, not only is it a great tool, but we provide dashboards and insights to allow our enrollment managers and our heads of marketing to be able to really understand the use, the value, and ultimately the return of the investment whenever they decide to utilize a tool here with Capture. What I love about this part is that not only do we allow control in the hands of the counselor, right, with support from the AI and the technology, but our heads of enrollment and our heads of marketing have control cyclically over how that outreach priority list gets constructed. So beyond the technology and all of the algorithms that are pushing students forward to the top of the list, our heads of enrollment and heads of marketing can decide how much happens during what part of the year. And so that's another piece, again, where we put the control and the power back in the hands of the individuals who are experts, but leveraging the technology and the AI to be able to empower them to do so. So before we move in to questions and answers, for any of you who have ever met me, you know that I have to say this. We've put up a poll because all of you signed up for a product launch webinar, right? To learn more about the products. And I can see in the panel, in the participant list, that there are some of our sales team there who would love to be able to talk with you. So if you would love to be able to see a live demo of either of these products, both of these products, our entire platform, whatever that might be, click yes, and our team will reach out to you. If you are not interested in a conversation today, no worries. Click no. We'll respect your privacy, at least for a little bit, right? But thank you so much for filling out that poll. We'll leave that up. At this point in time, we'll open up for any questions that you might have. Mia, our Vice President of Marketing, is in the backstage area and monitoring these chats, but we're happy to answer anything that might be a curiosity for you today. Otherwise, click yes on that poll. We'll make sure that a member of our team reaches out and schedules some really important time to be able to take a deeper look into both of these products.
Well, any
Tiffany,
questions?
you're awesome.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
so
well,
glad that you're a part of our product team.
glad to be here.
And thank you so much for leading us through the first look.
Yeah, my pleasure. One thing I'll just add on to, if any questions, while any questions roll in, is that similar to the Enrollment Scout, that Capture Copilot email is based on your brand voice and identity and is totally customizable as well, so that we're making sure that it's matching the tone and the voice that best suits your counselors' conversations as well.
That's a great question. That's a great question. It's fantastic. Well, friends, it is 1:29. We'll leave this poll up. If you're interested and would like an outreach, we're happy to connect with you and give you a deeper look. Once again, thank you so much for taking time out of what I know is a very busy day. On behalf of both Tiffany and myself, the rest of the team here at Capture, thank you so much for joining us and have a great rest of the day.
Thanks, everyone.